Big Blue Banter listeners, viewers, Nick Falato here to discuss the impact of this Darren Waller trade and how he can take this New York Giants offense to a completely different stratosphere from what we've seen in recent years. This is excellent for Daniel Jones, and I really love the aggressive nature of Joe Schoen to go out there and get this low-risk, high-reward type of player in Darren Waller. Let's get to his tape.
Joe Schoen understood the limitations of the Giants' 2022 offense. If you want to consistently compete in today's NFL, you have to create explosive plays on offense, and New York ranked dead last in that category. Schoen rectified the critical vulnerability that plagued the Giants' offense in 2022. The Giants traded the 100th selection in the upcoming draft to the Las Vegas Raiders for an explosive playmaker to pair with promising second-year tight end Daniel Bellinger.
Talk about a fun 12 personnel package.
The pick was a third-round compensatory selection acquired via the trade for Kadarius Toney earlier in the 2022 season. Waller is an elite athlete with excellent stride length, catch radius, and overall body control.
It's a more athletic, bigger Evan Ingram who displays a magnificent ability to come down with contested catches, something we did not see all that often from the former Giants tight end.
His ability to locate the football mid-flight and pluck it out of the air with dexterity will significantly help the Giants' offense. He's spatially aware and runs a nuanced, diverse route tree. If healthy, this should be a home run pick for the Giants. Low risk, high reward, give your quarterback someone to throw the football to. But let's get to know Waller and explore the past of his football life. Here's a screenshot of wide receiver Darren Waller's college stats from my extensive research performed on Wikipedia. The offense wasn't conducive for statistical success for a wide receiver. Waller played in a flexbone spread option offense under former head coach Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech.
When we throw it, we mean it. Touchdown, Georgia Tech.
And I like the choice. You know, why not? You got a guy that's 6'5", 250 pounds.
You heard the panic in the defense's voice. Pass, pass. And then the announcer, when we throw it, we mean it. Georgia Tech did not throw the ball too often, and the lack of receiving profile, despite a very good combine by Darren Waller, led to him falling past pick 200. He was picked in the 6th round by the Baltimore Ravens. Giants legend Tony Jefferson weighed in on the situation. As you can see on your screen, he tweeted this today, Tuesday, March 14th, right after the trade. Remember, Coach was getting mad. He was cooking us in camp and was like, Coach, this MF, I wonder what that stands for, is nice. And he tweeted that at Marlon Humphrey because a young Darren Waller at one point was absolutely roasting these guys in practice. He possessed all the talent that NFL teams are looking for these move tight ends at an elite level, but he didn't get to showcase that in college. And when he got into the league, he struggled with drug addiction. He's been very open about this. He was first suspended in 2016, and then he received a year-long ban in 2017, which was the light bulb for Darren Waller to check himself into rehab. And when he got out of rehab, he went back to the Ravens, went to the practice squad, and that's when the Raiders came, and they plucked him off the Ravens practice squad. 1 year later, in 2019, he turns in a 1,000-yard season, and from then on, he solidified himself as a top 5 tight end. He had to overcome a lot of inner demons, and he's been very candid about that, and I really appreciate the courage it took to speak about those types of hardships in his life.
Here's Darren Waller's career stats. You can see in 2019, 115 targets, 90 catches, over 1,000 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he built on that in 2020, was expanded in the offense with Derek Carr, 140 targets, 107 catches for almost 1,200 yards with 9 touchdowns. And those touchdowns dipped in 2021. Not 100% certain what was going on with Darren Waller. I know there was a lot going on with that team in 2021 with the John Gruden fiasco and Henry Ruggs. But for whatever reason, the offensive coordinator cannot figure out a way to get Darren Waller the football in the red zone. And he is a true elite red zone threat. And I cannot wait to see what Mike Kafka and Brian Dable have dialed up for him in the red zone, because they dialed up great red zone packages for Daniel Bellinger. And this past season, in 2022, a little problematic. He suffered hamstring injuries that he dealt with for basically the entire season. It started in training camp, and then he landed on the IR. He finished the season, came back off of IR, but it did not appear like, to me, the marriage between Josh McDaniels and Darren Waller was ever something that was going to work. It didn't seem like they were on the same page, and after 1 year, the Raiders shipped Waller out of town. Here are Darren Waller's measurements and athletic testing from the 2015 NFL Combine. These numbers are calculated for the wide receiver position, but it's a freaky size athletic ability combination. And here are some comparisons from players all across the league. You see a lot of wide receivers, top name wide receiver, Michael Pittman, Drake London, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Colin Johnson, and then one Lawrence Cager, who is currently retained by the New York Giants. He was re-signed, and if you remember back to middle parts of the season in 2022, there were plays specifically designed for Lawrence Cager. Think about the roots of Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll, a former tight ends coach. Brian Daboll took Dawson Knox and made the most of him. Dawson Knox had like 9 touchdowns on like 46 catches, a ridiculous touchdown percentage in 2021. And then Mike Kafka got to design plays for Travis Kelce. These two coaches have been yearning to take advantage of defenses through the tight end position, to vertically stretch, as you just saw, and we'll play it again, to vertically stretch the field against defense. And this is a good defense, the 49ers, and to make contested catches with that type of body adjustment. Look at what Darren Waller just did on the play on your screen. Watch how he high points that football, and then he checks to see where the defensive back is, where he's going to get contacted, and then he secures it to his chest and then falls. And watch also how he just explodes off of the line of scrimmage. This is a play-action pass. You can see how those second-level defenders are all going to freeze to see what Josh Jacobs is doing. And by that point, Darren Waller is going to get behind these second-level defenders, and he curves himself right into the soft spot of the zone. High points football, strong hands, apex that freaking football, Darren Waller, and it's something that he does consistently. This is what Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll want. They want plays like this. And the one that you're about to watch, again, Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of the best in the league. That play right there, look at the route running. Minkah Fitzpatrick is up on the line of scrimmage, and you have Darren Waller just outside of the tackle. Watch how he releases inside. This is nuanced route running. And then watch how he bends into the contact of Minkah Fitzpatrick. He feels that contact. He bends into it. You can't really see it perfectly on this screen, but you can see how he's leaning in with that shoulder. It's called the flipper technique. So what Darren Waller is going to do to create extra separation as he explodes outside and gets Minkah Fitzpatrick to basically orient himself inward, effectively removing himself from playing that outside release, even if he is in trail position, is he's going to use his elbow to flipper. He's basically going to take his elbow and he's just going to hit the breastplate of Minkah Fitzpatrick. And what does that do? It creates separation, but it also slows the momentum of Minkah Fitzpatrick down, allowing yourself, Darren Waller, to explode into space. And that's how he creates this much separation on Minkah Fitzpatrick. And that throw is inside. That's not a good throw right there. It's not a good throw from Carr. But he's still able to track it, realize where it is, locate it, contort his body, present his hands. He's not catching it with his chest. Watch the football into his hands, as you can see, in triple coverage, secure the pass, fall through contact. Nice gain for the Raiders offense. Let's watch it one more time. That is a beautiful play. I bet you Kafka and Daboll are just licking their chops, waiting to design plays for this guy. Waller's past as a wide receiver is very discernible when you watch the tape, because not many tight ends, not many wide receivers make these types of concentration catches away from his frame. And when you have that type of catch radius and those big, strong hands, like you're seeing on the screen right here, you can extend away from your frame. Like, look at the ball placement of that football. It is well inside. He's running across the field. This is way behind him. He's able to flip his hips, flip his body, locate that football, pluck it out of the air as he's getting hit by a defender. So he's making this catch through contact. It's a very good play by Darren Waller, and it showcases how he used to succeed as a wide receiver. All of those skill sets from his past. Here's a nice little route that he runs at the bottom of your screen. Just kind of finds the soft spot between the safety and the cornerback. I love how he turns the top of his break. See how he orients his hips outward, acting as if he's going to explode in an outward direction, but instead he's just doing that to get this defensive back to give him space so he can just flow back to the inside because the safety's paying attention to these crossing routes, makes the catch. Doesn't get the touchdown, but still a very nice play to understand where and when to be in a specific location based on the coverage that the defense shows. And you know that is vital and important to Kafka and Daboll. And here against the Patriots, he just runs a little seam ball, makes a catch between a couple defenders. This type of skill set in the red zone between the 20s, his ability to stretch the field vertically and horizontally, it's going to be leveraged in this offense. It's going to open up rushing lanes for Saquon Barkley. It's going to force fear into the hearts of these defenses, because the Giants in 2022, especially in the first half of the season, they were one of the most efficient play-action passing teams in the league. You had a player like Darren Waller to your 12 personnel package. Who's the defensive coordinator going to put out there? He could put base out there. He could put nickel out there. But either way, the Giants can find a way to exploit it, either via the rushing attack with Saquon Barkley or the play-action passing attack with Darren Waller and whoever else the Giants add at wide receiver and their current roster. So this is a good place for the Giants to find themselves in. These types of plays are going to be littered throughout the Giants film, and I'm very excited. It's not only going to be the play-action passing attack, but its ability to create explosive plays and be a threat in the red zone, as we're seeing on the screen right now. And as we continue to see in this play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, he doesn't come down with this football, but it just goes to show you his natural athletic ability and receiving skills. Not only the route, he's going to run a little stick right there, and he's setting this cornerback up. He's judging which path he's going to take. He's not going to go inside, because why would you go inside when you have a safety who is not being influenced right there or being drawn away? So he is going to loop around this defensive back and run along the back end line. You can see that's not a route every tight end runs, and he keeps it nice and sharp, and the ball's a little high. He high points it. It's just that second leg doesn't get in bounds. So it ends up going out of bounds, but still, what a crazy catch by Darren Waller. And as I said, this is all 2022 tape, all 22 that we're seeing. But if you go through his 2021, his 2020, and his 2019 film, there are so many plays of him using his physical nature and his natural concentration to make these tough catches and run through contact, as we're seeing here. Look, this is defensive holding. He just runs right through, creates separation, makes a catch, outruns the defender right into the safety. And he's able to run through any type of contact, as we'll see. If you try to press Darren Waller, he is going to get around you. Watch how this defensive back attempts to set on the inside to press him. He just swims right over the top. Good technique to get outside. Easy touchdown. That was 2022. We're going to see against Tennessee. He's just going to make that catch from the middle of the field, gets his head taken off. Again, running a route around this defender. He's running around him. So he avoids that chip, and then he gets around him, and there's only going to be a small throwing window between this defender, the safety coming down. The throwing window is right here, and Waller's able to present that target. Carr puts it right on his chest. He makes a catch, takes the hit, absorbs the contact, points the first down with confidence. And then here against Tennessee, we see another play where defender tries to get hands on, sets a little bit too far inside, and Waller obliges by just going right outside. He can't track the football into his hands because it's a little overthrown, but damn, the separation he creates against Kevin Byard is pretty impressive. Wish that was just on target. That would have been a beautiful touchdown, more than likely, for Waller. Here's another play where he just runs through a defensive back. I love this route, too. It's just a deep dig route where he has to run the entire, basically, length of the field. It's well out of his break. The football is getting thrown to him, but he runs through the defensive back, and now he has this defender that he has to outrun. So he can't just sit down in the void. He has to run this way where there's another defender who's looking to click and close and drive downhill. But he keeps that nice and flat. Knowing that this defender is out here, he almost angles this backwards towards the line of scrimmage. That's just showing his awareness. Makes the catch, and the safety's right there, but he secures the football. Toughness, competitive toughness. Smart, tough, and dependable. He seems smart. He seems very tough. The dependable, that's going to be the issue, right? Can he stay healthy?
And that will be the defining factor to this Darren Waller acquisition. Look, Darren Waller can do a lot for this offense. He will do a lot for this offense as long as he can stay healthy. He's 30 years old right now. He's not getting any younger. He doesn't have a ton of wear and tear in his past due to earlier in his career and his time at Georgia Tech. But if he can stay healthy, this guy can transform what the Giants can do offensively. And I don't know about you guys. I'm here for it. I'm ready to see it. The Giants have not had a tight end like this with this type of coaching staff who can maximize said tight end since what? Jeremy Shockey, Evan Ingram was never maximized here in New York. I guess you could say Kevin Boss, Jake Ballard, those were fun tight ends, but they were nothing like what Darren Waller can do for you from an offensive standpoint here in this great year, 2023. So I am looking forward to it. Everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you have not done so already, like and subscribe to this channel. Check me out on Twitter at Nick Falato. Head on over to bigblueview.com and check out all of the written content there. And also, just have a lovely day. Let's see what Joe Shane has up his sleeve for the rest of free agency and the NFL draft. Take care, everyone, and be well.